talking to Steve Smith about the first Zeppelin raids in Norfolk. Where was the Zeppelin first sighted?
The official reports state that Zeppelin L3 is seen off Ingham at 8:05 in the evening, and that was through witnesses that described seeing two balls of light in the air, effectively. The press leapt upon it, and as we can see as an example of that, in the War Illustrated dated the 30th of January 1915, you see the term "the coming of the aerial baby killers." There's also the intimation, as it says here, the futile Zeppelin savagery on the Norfolk coast. What this article tries to get at is the fact that the Germans are coming across and killing our children. In this raid there were no babies killed, but of course from that point of view at the time is makes news, doesn't it?
So what additional defences were put in place?
Norfolk eventually had its own mobile anti-aircraft defences. There were searchlights put in place, because the reality is that if you look at Norfolk on a map, it is extremely close to Europe, and if you're looking at it from the War Office point of view, it is a natural place perhaps for an invasion to take place.
How was the population prepared?
They weren't prepared for this raid. There was no major blackout in force. They really had no instructions as to how to act if there was any sort of attack, whether it be air raid or whatever. So that's one of the reasons why people were killed in these raids.
Was Norwich ever targeted?
Norwich was targeted twice, and official records show that 31st of January 1916 and the 1st of October 1916 Zeppelins were seen over the city. But the Norfolk Constabulary, County Constabulary records show that because the blackout was so good, the nearest bomb that landed was 5 miles away in Easton Park.
Zeppelin Raiders.
On the morning of the 19th of January 1915, 3 Zeppelins set out from their base in Germany. One turned back with engine troubles, but Zeppelin L3 and L4 both reached the Norfolk coast.
They made landfall near Bacton. L4 turned to follow the coastline west, and L3 turned southeast, passing over Haysborough Lighthouse at 8 p.m. It dropped its first bomb, an incendiary, on Farmer George Humphrey's marshy field near to St Michael's Church at Little Ormsby. This bomb, the first ever dropped on English soil, left a crater about 1.5 feet wide.
L3 then turned seawards to follow the coastline south to Great Yarmouth. It dropped a parachute flare to illuminate the town. Soldiers from Norfolk Regiment opened fire with their rifles but couldn't hit it.
The next 3 bombs did little damage. The 5th bomb was a high explosive and damaged buildings in St Peter's Plain. It injured several people and killed Miss Martha Taylor and Mr Samuel Smith.
Several bombs were dropped along the South Quay and the wharfs. The 12th bomb landed on the back of a racecourse near the Auxiliary War Hospital.
It left a large crater and killed a dog. L3 then went out to sea. L4, meanwhile, had reached Cromer and continued to Kingsland, killing 2 people and injuring 13 others.
Okay, Richard, this is amazing. This is an exercise book. What's this?
Well, this dates from 10th of January 1916, and this was my father's composition book from Corston School.
Wow. Look at that beautiful writing.
Soldiers somewhere in France. Some of our soldiers did not have a very nice Christmas this year because they were in the trenches fighting, nor did they have any very nice presents. But no doubt their officer tried to make them happy and comfortable as they could.
Oh, that's amazing.
The Zeppelins' last visit. When the Zeppelins came last Monday, there were 6 or 7. One came over about 5:30 and went over Hayden. I think the first 3 bombs made more noise than the others. 3 Zeppelins came over Corston about 7 to past. The trains did not run because the Zeppelins might follow them. Some of the Zeppelins went into the Midlands and did a lot of damage. The report was that they dropped 220 bombs.
Good
I'm
heavens.
glad they brought one down in the North Sea.
That's amazing.